श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमव्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्विमे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी। किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्। बोद्धव्यं विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत्। Make or break verses. You get it, you are mukta. We don't get it, baddha. Simple as that, yeah. Choice is ours, but is it really a choice? No, it's a choiceless choice. Yeah. Vedanta is a choiceless choice, and so therefore here also this is a choiceless choice. And we have entered into the 18th verse, which is the culmination of the teachings. And what is the teachings? The teaching here is very simply put, Atma in the form of Satchidananda, consciousness is not an actor. The question comes, why? Why doesn't Atma do things? So easy it would be if Atma did a few things. Simply sitting, it is there. Why should it simply sit? Why can't it do? Simply because the definition of the action is that which is based upon will, sankalpa, intention. Because the intention to do constitutes action, and the intention to not do constitutes also what? Action, not inaction. Action. Both are action. This is why this is so confusing. Now, does Atma have any intentions? None at all. No intentions. How come it doesn't have intentions? Because it does not have will. It does not have will, and since will is the backing of every action, then therefore, since there is absence of will, there is absence of doership. Doership and sankalpa, will, are very intricately connected. That is number 2. Number 3, yet somehow I say what? I did. I am the doer. Only if it's something good. If supposing somebody said, this is terrible, who did this? This one. Point to somebody right there. So this shows that there is something called a doer. Even though Atma is free of action, why free of action? This is important to know. Free of sankalpa, free of will, that desires, free of desire also, because the will is based on what? Desire. And desire is based on what? Ragadveshas are I will do it the long way, okay. Ragadveshas are based on what? Ignorance, finally. Is Atma ignorant? Abba. Answer came quickly and fast. Thank you very much, okay. Yes. So, Atma, there is not a whiff of ignorance. It's all knowing, sentient, limitless I. And so for that all-knowing, ignorance-less I, there cannot be desire. If there is no desire, there is no will to do things. If there is no will, there is no doership. If there is no doership, there is no receivership of the fruits of action. And if there is no receivership, there is no samsara. What is samsara? No sorrow. This is what has to be assimilated as the definition of I, aham. This is exactly what has to be assimilated. So, this is exactly how it should be assimilated, this is exactly what should be assimilated, and in the absence of this, there is sorrow. So then, the question is, you say Atma is I, correct? Yeah, I. But I am sad. Why I am sad? Because I didn't get what I want. Because I want to do, to get what I want. I want to get something. I want to have this. I don't want to have that. Who is this I then? Can there be two I's? No. I is singular. So then there cannot be two I's. There is only one I. There are two I's? Yes, this is possible. There can be two I's. E-Y-E-S. There cannot be two I. I is singular. And so, but there is a person who claims to be the doer. There is a person who claims to have will. There is a person who claims to have ragadvesha. There is a person, even the one who claims to have ignorance. That is why the person comes to ashram. Please get rid of my ignorance. Yeah. So then who are these two people? They don't have anything to do with one another. They are like navagrahas, not facing one another. If you go to any temple, the navagrahas, they must not face one another. They don't even talk to each other. This is why we need this knowledge, because the thicket of ajnanam is so dense. That is why it has to be removed. The removal of ajnanam makes this false notion that I am a doer, that I am separate from this Satchidananda, makes that false notion go away. The I which is the doer is notional. The I which is the non-doer is the only one that is the reality, And then it is so big, so vast, and all knowledge unopposed to anything. It is also unopposed to ignorance. If you tell Atma, let's say Atma was a doer and had a human mind. So if you tell Atma, what will you tell Atma? I am ignorant. It will say, okay, fine. What will you do? You ask Atma. I will simply shine the light on your ignorance. So if it shines the light on ignorance, then what happens? The person, the claimant is there. The owner, upper of the ignorance is very much there, because the ignorance till now had not come to light. Ignorance of self-ignorance is bliss. Ahaha. Eshtu santosha. Fantastic. Tumba santosha. Very happy. Very happy. Why? Because I don't know anything. I don't even know that I don't know. That is bliss, I tell you. With a capital B, here I will permit. Yeah. Yes. But as soon as you know you don't know, you cannot stand yourself. You are just like a restless centipede, just going about like this. So, therefore, this so-called divergence between a complete opposite owning up oneself as a doer, getting the results of action, falling in the vat of samsara of this whole loop, and yet craving for that one which is free of all doership, this becomes the life's story. Every life story, everybody's story is this. And so therefore what? To as though unite the two. There is no two actually. Two is because of my cataracted vision of ignorance. Like the two birds in the Mundakopanishad. Dva suparna sayuja sakhayah samane vrikshe parishasva jate tayorekah pippalam swadu atti anashnan anyo abhichakashiti. Two birds of shining wings, shining plumage. And then out of that, both of them are on the same branch, on the same tree, samane vrikshe, but they are embracing parishasva jate. We are greatest of friends. In fact, if you look from a distance, they look like one because they have their wings wrapped around each other. They look like one. But you go closer, they are not one at all. They are split. One of them is simply sitting, birdie. The other one is what? Yeah, eating birdie, foodie. Yes. Interested in berries. So it flutters here, eats a berry there, finds it to be bitter, and then it eats more berries. Then suddenly some sweet taste comes and it doesn't know which tree, which branch, which berry. It is going mad after this sweet berry, not getting it again for a long time. And this way, samsara rewards the seeking bird with what? Intermittent reinforcement. And the intermittent reinforcement makes you addicted to that thing. I tell you, if samsara was just a washout, nothing there to look forward to, then we would have to build a 10 times bigger ashram, because everybody will come for moksha immediately, sick of samsara. But it takes a very long time to get sick of samsara, and it takes an equally longer time, lifetime sometimes, to know that there is a upaya, there is a remedy, I don't have to be in this. And so the bird analogy here is exactly that. One bird seems to be just the doer and the karta of what? Eater of the berries. The other one is, and the same one, then karta then becomes what? Bhokta. Bhokta, karma phala bhokta. And the other the other birdie is simply shining the light. Abhichakashiti means it just looks on. But interestingly, the root is chakastra deeptau, lights up. It lights up the activities of this one. In the ignorant activities of this one, it lights up. So it apparently in the state of the jiva's ignorance, these two realities do not talk to one another. Mainly what? Pratibhasika and Paramarthika. Pratibhasika, I am aggrieved, I am karta, I am bhokta. Pratibhasika means subjective reality, subjective non-reality. So, the subjective, so-called subjective reality is the one that is plaguing the bird, whatever is upalakshana of the bird, the jiva. Bird is okay, but what is the jiva? Bird brain, that's all. So, this jiva is not exercising any thinking capacity and is going along thinking that I have to run from one pursuit to another, gathering things, gathering people, gathering degrees, gathering fruits of action, doing this, doing that, becoming something or the other. And then that is Pratibhasika. And then what is Paramarthika? I don't need to do anything, I am not a doer. I am not a doer, I am not a recipient of action, I am also, ignorance does not touch me, that is the Paramarthika. Now, to go straight from Pratibhasika, my subjective non-reality, to the ultimate reality that I am a non-doer, very, very difficult. So therefore we bring in the Jagat as an interim reality, Vyavaharika, where this dance can take place. Two kinds of dance. I am Karta dance and I am Bhokta dance. Then we can add the third one, I am learning to be Akarta dance. So these dances, we need a kshetra for that, and that kshetra becomes the Jagat, the third plane of reality or the interim plane of reality, bridging the, what is the other one? The Paramarthika and the Pratibhasika. Bridging these two P's, there is in the Vyavaharika, empirical reality. So then one can go stage by stage. First stage is what? Dropping the Pratibhasika and living firmly in the Vyavaharika. Very important. Then from that place of Vyavaharika, seeing Ishvara as everything, Ishvarizing the entire universe of names and forms, and then slowly understanding that Ishvara is myself alone, the whole universe is an extension of me. I see Sarvatma Bhava, I see the self of all in me, and then I see myself in all. This is the ultimate. So without this stable ground of Vyavaharika, very, very difficult to bridge, what is that? The Pratibhasika, the reality, the subjective reality, to go from ultimate subjective to ultimate objective reality is not possible. Not possible at all. And so therefore, the Vyavaharika Satta, the empirical reality is very, very important. It is where these dances of Kartritvam and Akartritvam are learned. And so when we look at this verse as a diving board to immerse into the I that I want to be, into the I that I want to see, then it makes a lot more sense. To complete the story of the two birds, there are no two birds. Even if we say one is Jiva bird, the other is Ishvara bird, all that is there is Ishvara bird. The Jiva is an as though, what? Projection. Vikshepa. The Jiva is not separate from Ishvara. It separates itself on account of this Kartritva Buddhi, which is what has to be totally and fully given up. And so this verse therefore becomes the and the verse what is that? In the Mundaka also the shloka says the same thing. Anishaya shochati muhyamanah. The first bird which is running around in search of berries, Anishaya, in the form of not being Ishvara. Shochati, grieves, deluded. Jushtam yada, when it turns to Ishvara, the other bird, and sees the other bird as a worshipful reflection of itself, then it becomes Vita Shokaha. Vita Shokaha means what? Free of sorrow. Free of sorrow. And so when we look at this, Karmani Akarma Yaf Pashyet. Akarmani Cha Karma Yaha. This can only happen in the empirical reality. In the Paramarthika reality, what karma? No karma, no korma. Okay? Yes. Not possible. Only here we can talk about karma. We can talk about akarma. And so therefore, we have to see this properly. Karmani, seventh case, in action. The one who sees what? Akarma, actionlessness, the one who sees. And also the word in here, karmani, seventh case, is not locative. It is not adhikarane in the sense of location. Because absence of action is what? Present or absent? Absent. Is it existent or non-existent? Non-existent. So if you take it as a locative case, then karmani, in action, inside action is situated what? Non-action. Does something that does not exist require a location? Yeah, see, this is why study of Sanskrit is very important. Everybody has to kind of think. And after some Sanskrit study, you become invincible to anybody who argues, dares to argue with you. Yeah, because you have thought everything so clearly. So logically, this is a very important connection. Karmani means in karma. It's not in karma. It is Vishaya Saptami with reference to karma. When we are talking about the subject matter of karma, the one who sees actionlessness, and then viparita also, with reference to akarma. See, akarma means what? Absence. Absence means non-existence. Can non-existence be the source of existence? Say no, so we can move on. Yes. Non-existence cannot be the source of existence. Why? Viparitatvat. Because they are self-contradictory. Cannot be the source of existence. So therefore, neither can existence be the source of non-existence, and neither can non-existence be the source of existence. So therefore, karmani and akarmani must be read as just with reference to. With reference to action, the one who sees what? Inaction or actionlessness, and with reference to absence of action, the one who sees action. So, we already saw quite a bit of the Bhashya. Let us just quickly understand this. And where is that? Yeah. Ataha viparita grihite eva. Did we finish that? No, we haven't come here, right? Yeah. No, we haven't come here. Okay. Are we on page 232? Yes. First nanu or second nanu? First nanu. Okay. All right. So, vastu aprapya eva. Yes. Yogi, Krishna karma krit. Yogi, yuktaha is yogi. Samasta Krishna karma krit. Yes, we saw what Krishna karma krit is. So, itaretara darshi means the one who sees karma in akarma, etc. And then the Purva Pakshi who has been listening quietly. First of all, who is this Purva Pakshi? Pakshi, bird. Purva, east. Eastward bird. Am I correct? No. Purva Pakshi means what? Yeah. Purva means before here, objectioner. Pakshi means very wedded to the paksha. Yeah, paksha means wing, a side. Pakshi means the one which has wings. So here they are wedded to a wing, right wing, left wing in politics we say. So similarly, that all they got from this only. Yeah, from Sanskritam only. So right wing leaning, left wing leaning, we say no. So like this. So the Pakshi, Purva Pakshi means aforehand, without listening, this person has decided, he or she has decided. What have they decided? That whatever Vedanta is saying is a colossal waste of time. They have already come to that foregone conclusion. Purva means foregone. Yes, that's a very good that's a very good translation. Purva, foregone. Pakshi, conclusion, concluder. Foregone concluder means for us gone case. No need to even argue with this fellow, but we have to do that for a very secret and important reason. Because the location of the Purva Pakshi is not in America, not in Germany, not in anywhere. Where is the location of this person? Yeah. Yes. In our own hearts, in our own buddhi, the fellow is quietly seated. And that's why even 25 years of Vedanta doesn't do anything. In that time, even a stone in the Narmada river becomes a Shivalinga. But this fellow's mind is business as usual. All how it was before, intact, not at all touched by anything. So this is Purva Pakshi, the one who is a foregone concluder, or in other words, a gone case. Yes, gone case. A gone case. So this is the 8th case. We have, what is that? Dative case. What else do we have? Object case, instrumental case, and then finally what? 6th case is not a case, okay? So therefore, what is that? The 8th case is what? Gone case. 7th case is what? Basket case, okay? So now, the Purva Pakshi listening says, Nano. Nano means, hey you, but. Kimidam viruddham uchyate. What you Vedantins don't have any work? Any other job is not there, you keep contradicting yourselves. Karmani akarmayah pashyet. What is this? In action you see non-action, and non-action you see action. You don't have any other work or what? Viruddham uchyate. Karmani akarmayah pashyet iti, akarmani cha karma iti. Nahi karma akarma syat, akarma va karma. Tatra viruddham katham pashyet drashta. You people don't have, you people need something in order to digest your food. That's why you go on this mental exercise. How can you say, nahi karma akarma? Can action become non-action? No. Action is action. Because if supposing you say, what is that? I didn't eat at all. And then what have you done? You have eaten everything. Like Devadatta, who does not eat during the day. And then what does Devadatta do? Puts on weight at the end of 1 month. So what do we conclude? He must be eating at night. So then the action of eating is just change the timing, that's all. It's not stopped. So action cannot become inaction. What we call action is action. What we call inaction is inaction. And so you cannot confuse the two. You cannot confuse the two at all. So this was tried as a joke. There is one, what is that? In South India, there is one jokester, intelligent minister whose name was Tennali Raman. And this Tennali was very, very wonderful, and he would entertain the king, and the king also was having a nice repartee with him. And so one time the king and the queen were eating, lots of mangoes, sitting and enjoying the mangoes in a mango orchard. The king saw Tenali Raman coming. And what did the king do? He had eaten 4-5 mangoes, and all the seeds and the skin he transferred to the side of the queen. And he made it what? Completely smooth. Not even a little mango juice or pulp was available. It was all on the side of the queen. And he wiped his mouth also with his Angavastram and sat quietly. And when Tenali Raman came, he said, "Look at your queen. She is so greedy. Look at how many mangoes she has eaten. Look at me. How I have not eaten." He didn't say that, but he said, "Look at your queen. How much she has eaten." And then Tenali Raman looked and he said, "Your Majesty, yes, the queen has really enjoyed a lot of mangoes. It appears so. But you have also enjoyed the skin and the bones of the mango as well." Meaning you have eaten all that. So, in this way, if you have eaten, you have eaten. Unless you are in denial, you cannot sort of confuse karma for akarma. And so, therefore, what? Therefore, you have to, you are full of rubbish. You people, you Vedantins, do not do that. Karma tatra viruddham katham pashyat drashta. How can anybody who is the observer, drashta means observer, see this contradiction? How can you even understand this contradiction? Since he began with Nanu, Adi Shankaracharya also says, Nanu yourself. Yes, Nanu to you too. But this is samadhanam, okay? This is not, they don't think this is one more Purva Paksha. This is samadhana, means the resolution of this is called samadhana. Nano akarma eva paramarthataha sat karmavat avabhasate moodha dhrishtehe. Is a very slight, what is that? Goading is there, trolling. Yes. What is akarma? Akarma means actionlessness. Paramarthataha. From the standpoint of the ultimate reality, that Atma which is actionless appears to be doing action for a selective few people, such as yourself, who Moodha Drishtehe. Moodha Drishtihi Yasya Saha Tasya Moodha Drishtehe. So, Moodha Drishti means what? The one of deluded vision. The one of whose vision is full of division. Such a person. Deluded vision. Deluded vision means full of division. That is the person. Such a person is called Moodha Drishti. What kind of samasa is this? Bahuvrihi. Bahuvrihi. Because two things are there, Moodha and Drishti. And then the person is qualified by that, by these two words. The one whose Drishti is deluded. The one whose vision is full of division, for that person, yes, the Atma will appear to be doing action, while in essential reality it does not do any action. What does it do? It blesses everything that is there, including the deluded Jiva, which is a spin-off of the Atma because of its ignorance. Because of its embrace of the ignorance, the Jiva becomes as though a spin-off of the Atma. What does the Atma do? Simply lights up that separate Jiva also. The one who thinks of himself, herself as separate, it lights up that also. Just like the bird lights up the actions, witnesses the actions of the other bird which is jumping around, the Atma also simply is what? It is revealing what the Jiva, which is itself alone, but because the jiva doesn't recognize the truth, has separated itself from its reality, the Atma, therefore, as though shines as separate, appears to be doing, appears to be going, coming, studying, not studying, eating, drinking, etc. But the truth of this jiva is Atma, which is free of all actions. Understood? Say yes even if you don't want to, because it will be clear later. Okay. So then this is the samadhana. So karmavat avabhasate. Avabhasate means shines as though it is doing things. Karmavat. So lokasya tatha karma eva akarmavat tatra yatha bhuta darshanartham aha bhagavan karmani akarma yaf pashyet ityadi. So too, action appears like inaction. For who? For the manda buddhi. Manda buddhi is mudha drishti. Same thing. Mudha drishti you can say, or you can say what? Manda buddhi. For the dull fellow. And then similarly, action is inaction. Inaction is action. Then that's why Bhagavan says, in order to understand the vision, yathartha, yathabhuta darshanartham, in order to understand the truth of the I, Bhagavan says that what one has to do, one has to be able to see actionlessness even though there is action. That is the purport of this verse. That is the purport of this verse, this shloka. And therefore, ataha na viruddham, there is no contradiction, dear fellow. Buddhimatvat upapattehe cha. Another reason, there is not a contradiction. Why? Because buddhiman. Look at the verse, go back to the verse. Second line what? Saha buddhiman. Buddhiman means what? One who has buddhi. The other one is mudha drishti, has no buddhi. Okay? Yeah, dull-witted. Manda buddhi is equal to no buddhi. Saha buddhiman. Among what? Manushyeshu. Yeah, not four-footedeshu. Yeah, manushyeshu. Manushyeshu saha buddhiman. That person is buddhiman. Buddhiman means uses the buddhi. Everybody has a buddhi. We saw that yesterday. This person is actually using it, not hoarding it and keeping it under lock and key. This person is using it. So, buddhimatvacha means that there is another reason. What is the reason? The reason is that the word buddhiman is the key here, which shows that this is not contradictory or a waste of time, because the one who has been using the buddhi properly sees what the Bhagavan is saying. So it is obviously it can be understood and internalized, not for you perhaps, because why? Modha drishti. So this is the samadhana. Adi Shankara thinks it's a coffee break. Okay, so and then he explains a few things here. Nacha viparita jnanat. Further, one more reason he gives. He gives three reasons. This is the third reason. And we will go over the reasons again, so don't worry. Nacha viparita jnanat ashubhat mokshanam syat. Yajñatva mokshase ashubhat iti cha uktam. Where was it said? Yajñatva mokshase shubhat. Where was it said? Which Upanishad? Huh? 16th verse. Okay, 26th we haven't yet gone. 16th verse. 16th. You had the 6th, so I'll give you that. Okay? Yeah. So, 16th verse. In the 16th verse, what is said? Karmanopi bodhavyam. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. And no, before that. Yeah, before that. Kim karma kima karmeti kavayaha api atra mohitaha tattev aham pravakshyami. Karma pravakshyami. Yajñatva ashubhat samsarat mokshyase. The first time the word moksha is used as a verb here by Bhagavan. I will free you from samsara. If you know this, there is no more samsara for you because you have already flown to Paramarthika. No more Vyavaharika. Vyavaharika continues because it is Ishvara Srishti. That we will see later. It is Ishvara Srishti. It is not Jiva Srishti, means it is Ishvara's creation. Vyavaharika, the world of the empirical reality can continue, will continue, and then the Jnani living in the empirical reality will be totally just living in the empirical reality without the Pratibhasika or the internalized element of the Ragadveshas in the Jnani's mind. So eating, drinking, one can say, who ate? I didn't eat. I didn't drink. Jnani can easily say. So therefore, here the third reason that is given is what? Is that Ashubhat mokshanam syat na viparita jnanat. So, since moksha is promised, will Bhagavan through the 18th verse make people spin off somewhere and go into some kind of a wrong loop? No, because through wrong knowledge, through confused knowledge, is moksha possible? No. You can't get moksha through wrong knowledge. So if Bhagavan's intention was to confuse the people and give wrong knowledge, he wouldn't have just in 2 verses ago said, I am going to free you from this, please listen. So therefore, since moksha is talked about from what? Samsara, we have to take it very, very seriously that Bhagavan means business and that there can be no contradiction. Through contradictory knowledge, what is that? Viparita jnanat. Ashubhat mokshanam na syat. That na has to be come before syat. Na syat. Further, nacha, not indeed, what? Through contradictory knowledge, moksha is possible. Moksha from inauspicious life. And what is the inauspicious life? Seeing oneself as karta. Not possible at all. So, tasmat karmani viparyayena grihite pranibhihi tad viparyaya grahana nivrityartham bhagavatah vachanam karmani akarmayah ityadi. Thereby it is concluded. Tasmat means that's what it is. Tasmat means therefore, thereby we have to conclude what? This topic of action and actionlessness, viparyayena grihite. So, because they are wrongly grasped, contradictorily grasped, wrongly grasped. By who? Pranibhihi. Pranibhihi means what? Human beings. But why prani now? Because we are not thinking, we are acting out of instincts. When we confuse karma for akarma, etc. So Bhagavan Bhashyakara uses the word prani. Yes. So like animals, you just go like this near them, they think, oh, they are going to attack. They will offensively growl, jump, because they come to wrong conclusion. Your dog will pass a mirror and growl and bark at its own reflection. This kind of confusion is there or not? Yes. And when the cat or the dog barks at its own reflection in the mirror, we say, ha 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 ha, we laugh. How silly, how stupid, poor thing, it doesn't know. But we ourselves are doing that. We are barking at our own reflection. Therefore what? Pranibhihi, this confusion is there. This confusion is very much there in all living beings. And then, so tasmat, so this viparyaya grahanam is there. Viparyaya grahanam means contradictory understanding. When, the thinking, confusion about what is action and what is not action is contradictory understanding. It is there among all living beings. It is there. Among all living beings, it's there. The cat just sees something. A shadow which is not even moving, it may not even be moving, but it thinks the shadow is coming to attack. So, akarmani karma pashyet. So, in the shadow that is unmoving, it thinks the dog or the cat thinks, the animal thinks this is going to attack me. And then it attacks. And so like this confusion is there. It is rampant, not only among human beings, but also among animals. But here the human beings, between the human beings and animals, there seems to be no difference. And here, therefore, Bhagavan has said this verse. So, by way of samadhana for the Purva Pakshi, 3 points are raised. Let us just quickly note them down before we go further. What is there? So, first is the difference between karma and akarma is from what? Is from the standpoint of the ultimate reality, paramarthika satta. And from the standpoint of the ultimate reality, that which is action is an as though projection, as though superimposition upon the Atma which is free of that superimposition. The Atma that is free of being Karta is mistaken for the Karta because of a certain kind of a superimposition, and as though superimposition. And so, the Atma is the Adhishthana, the basis for all superimpositions. Why? Because it is unopposed to anything. That's why. So, the Atma is mistaken for Karta because Kartritva Buddhi, the doership, is an as though superimposition upon that Atma which is free of being doer. Okay. So, then that's the first reason. And so, therefore, Moodha Drishthehe Karmavat Avabhasate. So, something looks like action even when it's not action. Why? Because the person is not a thinking person, has not been using the buddhi, and is not in Paramarthika Satta. Where are they? Vyavaharika or Pratibhasika, doesn't matter. So, they are Moodha Drishti, Manda Buddhi. So, for these people, Manda Buddhaya, for them, what happens? This is not understood. This is not understood. So, therefore, to understand the ultimate reality, Bhagavan has come up with a verse. And then, the second and so therefore, it is not a contradiction. The second reason is sa buddhiman manushyeshu sa yuktaha sa kritsna karma krit. Which verse is that? Current verse, 18th verse. So the second line, okay, Mr. Purva Pakshi or Mrs. Purva Pakshi, whoever you are, Ms. Purva Pakshi, what are you doing? You are very quick to object. Why? Because you are already a foregone case. And why are you a foregone case? Because you only read the first line of the shloka. You didn't wait even to see the second line. What does the second line say? Then this knowledge of seeing actionlessness in action and vice versa is important. Why is it important? Because the person blessed with this vision is buddhiman. Buddhiman means wise, jnani here. And so, this vision is possible, first of all. And that if you are a buddhiman, you will see this. Okay. So, that means what? That means it is not a contradiction. It is not a vain or a useless statement by Bhagavan. Second reason for coming up to counteract the Purva Pakshi. What is the third reason that is given? Moksha se ashubhat. The whole context is taken. If this sentence is supposed to free me from samsara, third samadhanam for this particular objection, if it is supposed to free me from samsara, then which is inauspicious, then what? Then if we are talking of non-existent karma and non-existent karma, that which is non-existent cannot free me from samsara, or wrong understanding of this verse cannot free me from samsara. So viparita grahanam, understanding this wrongly, like you want me to do, O Purvapakshi, is not going to lead me to moksha. In fact, it is going to further entrench me into samsara. Are the three samadhanams to the first objection clear? Yes? No? Would you like me to repeat them?
What is the difference between the first and second?
You don't understand number 3? Okay, I'll tell number 3. So that means all 3, she doesn't understand 1 and 2. So that means all 3 need to be repeated. No problem. Okay. First is very simple. So the first samadhana, first let's understand the objection. You people are blabbering, you don't make sense. That's the objection. Okay. Don't overthink it. Yeah. So then the first samadhana, the first rebuttal or the solution to the first objection is what? That the actionless Atma appears to be doing action because you are what? Mudha buddhi. Manda drishti or Mudha drishti and Manda buddhi, same thing. Okay. Because you are delusional. You are in your pratibhasika, you are in your subjective reality, so you don't see the truth of the Atma to which the action is superimposed, and that Atma is free of that very action, like the canvas on which is the movie screen. You know, in India, in the villages, they would just have some tattered piece of cloth in the middle of the village. Movie night. This was the movie night. And all the elders used to sit on the right side of the screen, okay, where everything is happening correctly. And the children, since they don't follow much anyway, they were on the other side, which we would see all wrong things, all going backwards. But we would enjoy it, doesn't matter. And then the reel would finish. This is all old fashioned. And in between, we were so fascinated, we would go and touch that cloth because the reel is being, new reel is being fed into the projector. So there's just some light, and sometimes that light would also not be there, just cloth. And then we would say, how this villain was right here. I saw him. This was right here. This mountain was right here. This person was right here. Here was the heroine, and her bag was lifted and stolen by the villain. And here was the hero in hot pursuit, rescuing the bag. All this we saw. Now there is nothing. How is that possible? And then the new reel would be fed, and there would be shadow of all these children's heads, and the adults would say, shoo, just sit down. Don't spoil our movie. They would call from the other side. So Atma is like that, a blank screen. So if the hero is running, is the screen also running? No. Hero is acting. And the action of the hero is attributed to the screen, which is free of movement. And we children were what? Mudha drishtaya. Why? In relation to this screen, in relation to this local screen, we were manda buddhis. We did not know. How is it possible? Just now it was moving, just now it is stationary. So like this, the Atma often becomes the sitting duck for wrong understanding. And so for whom? For the people who don't know. So therefore, my dear Purvapakshi, there is no contradiction in saying actionless. The actionlessness is there in every action. What is the contradiction? You are seeing the contradiction by Mudha Drishti, you are, that's why. First objection, understood? Now you have to say yes whether you want to or not. Okay? Alright. Now, so the first answer to the first objection. Second answer to the second objection and the third answer, both of them constitute the study of the 16th verse objection, the second response, and then the 18th verse, second line, the third response. So now buddhiman. The second answer is that it is not a contradiction, because if you are a buddhiman, you can see the truth of it. So buddhiman manushyeshu, meaning among the people. Manushyeshu, again, is with reference to the people. Comparative saptami here. So among all the people, there is one who is buddhiman. Among all the people, there is one who uses the buddhi properly, and that person can see. So even if one person can see the truth of this, and that person is a buddhiman, a thinking person, then that means, is there a contradiction? No, because it is already resolved. Number 3, okay. Number 3 is that if there were a contradiction, can contradictory statements lead to liberation from samsara? No. So therefore Bhagavan cannot intend a contradiction, because in the 16th verse it was promised that the study of these verses will lead you out of samsara, not into samsara. So therefore what? There is no contradiction. Did you understand all 3? Yes. Abba. Moving on. Okay. Then he gives a little technical thing. Thankfully we have already done it, so we can breeze through it. Nacha atra karma adhikaranam akarma asti. So this is the whole, how to take the saptami. Karmani akarma yaf pashyet. Saptami means 7th case. How to take the 7th case? We have to take it as Vishaya Saptami. The subject matter Saptami, not with reference to, we have to understand, not actual location. So he says, Bhashyakara continues, he says, this karma is not the adhikarana location. Karma can never be the location of non-action. Non-action means action is not there, correct? Hello? Wake up, yeah. So non-action means what? Action is there or not there? Not there. How can a non-existent thing live in something existent? No meaning. And again, even worse, how can an existent karma live in a non-existent akarma? So we have to take it as Vishaya Saptami. No need to even read this. Consider this done. Okay? Yeah. Ataha viparita grihite eva karma karmani laukikaihi yatha mrigatrishnikayam udakam shuktikayam va rajatam. So therefore, ataha laukikaihi means by the worldly people, by the masses in the world. What happens by them? Viparita grihite eva. So the action and actionlessness or non-action have been wrongly and contradictorily understood by the regular people. Like they have made a mistake. And 2 examples of mistakes are given. Mrigatrishnika means the desert appearance, the appearance of a mirage in the desert. The mirage in the desert, Mrigatrishnikayam, in the mirage water, what do they see? Real water. So the person in the desert is slightly crazy, hot sun, and that the sand has silica, shiny things. Shiny minerals make and the sand dunes are undulating, so there is the perception of water flowing, like lovely lake, water. And then what does this fellow do? Takes off his t-shirt, runs and dives. Gets up with a mouthful of sand. That's all. Big disappointment. Makes a mistake. Okay, so yatha mrigatrishnikayam, in the mirage, what do you see? Real water, udakam. Va or athava, ahosvit. What else do you see? You see rajatam shuktika. In the Shuktika, in the mother of pearl. In the pearl's mother, what do you see? Silver. And you go closer and the mother of pearl objects. I am not the mother of silver, I am only the mother of pearl. So that is another superimposition. So we see things that are not there. Where in the world we make mistakes. We make mistakes in the world, and so here also in the same world, laukikaihi, by people who are in the masses, who don't understand anything, what happens? They also make a mistake. That is why this verse is needed. Because karma, action and actionlessness are conceived of wrongly, understood wrongly, so the correction is required. And then Mr. Purvapakshi appears again. Alas, so quick. No coffee break for Adi Shankara. Nano karma karma eva sarvesham na kvachit vyabhicharati. Now he only takes the first part. Action is always action. How can action become inaction? It never will swerve from that. Na vyabhicharati means it will never become inaction. And Adi Shankara simply says, tanna, not so. It is not correct. And he gives a beautiful example. Let us look at the example before we go to the verse. What is the example? You are going in a boat on the Ganga and you are moving. And then what do you see? You see the trees, you see the mountains, you see the people. And so when you are moving on the water, what does it appear? The trees and the land are moving in the opposite direction and you are stationary. You are what? Akarta, abhokta, and the trees which are actually in reality what? Not moving, you are seeing as moving. This is the first example. So what is the example of akarmani karma yaha pashyet? Akarmani, in non-action of what? Trees and mountains. Are they acting? No, they are stationary. But they appear to be moving even though they are still. Akarmani karma yaha pashyet. So this is one example. Then another example is star-gazing example. You look at the star, you say this is Dhruva. Dhruva means always fixed in one place. In English also it is there. What is that star? Pole star. Pole star. This is called Dhruva. Dhruva means you can, even if you are lost, you can look at it and see that it is pointing northwards and you can retrace your steps and come back. It's like an ancient GPS. So, Dhruva is far from stationary. If you look at it through the telescopic eyes, you will see that it is spinning around itself at a fast speed. So, karmani, akarma. Correct? So, when you go star gazing, you say, oh, what pretty, pretty stars. How nicely they are there. They are all stationary. I am the one looking at them. They are still. They are far from still. In fact, they are still moving, but because they are far away, they appear to be what? Stationary. Karmani, akarma. And similarly, again, if we go back to the boat example, after a while of the trees moving, etc., forget the first part, after a while, everything seems to be stationary. When it is not at all stationary. The whole land and everything seems to be still when it is not still at all. So these two examples he gives to help the Purva Pakshi understand that everything is not exactly how the eye sees. Tanna, this is not so. Nausthasya. Now means boat. Sthaha means for the one in the boat. For the one who is occupying the boat, the one standing in the boat. Navi gachantyam, as the boat, when the boat goes, tatastheshu agatishu nageshu. Is it? Tateshu agatishu nageshu pratikula gati darshanat. So, the one in a boat, what kind of boat? Gachantyam navi, moving boat. So, when the boat is moving, what happens? Tatastheshu agatishu nageshu. Tatastheshu, that which are hugging the banks. What are hugging the banks? Trees, mountains, etc. That are on the other side of the bank. They are what? Agatihi. Agatayaha. They are having no gati. The ones that are non-moving, the non-moving things seem to be moving. How? Pratikula gati darshanat. Pratikula means in the opposite direction. Because this vision is there. And then dureshu chakshusha asannikrishteshu gachatsu gati abhava darshanat. And the second example is that objects which are far away from the naked eyes. Like what? Stars. Or even in the same boat example, far away when you see all the things, the whole island, if you are moving away, the island looks like it has come to a standstill, but actually many moving things are happening. So, dureshu chakshusha asannikrishteshu means the objects which are far away, gachatsu eva, even though they are moving, gachatsu, these objects, gachatsu eva gati abhava darshanat. They appear to be still. They appear to be still. So you see, such a beautiful and compassionate answer from a very nice example, very nice understanding. So from the Vyavaharika perspective, very beautiful example. See, we mistake the trees to be moving in the other direction. The trees are not moving at all. We mistake the stars to be still because we are watching them appear. They appear still because they are so far away. Their movement goes undetected. So the undetected movement doesn't mean there is no movement. And the detected movement is a wrong perception, is a superimposition. So too in the akartra atma, in the atma that is free of all action, there is attributed action. I see action. Why? Because of one's own mistake, one is seeing the action when there is no action possible at all. If one sees the action from the eyes of Jnana Chakshu with understanding, then it's okay, but otherwise it becomes a delusion, a mistake. All right, yeah, we'll stop here. Otherwise, no one will come to the next class. Okay, yeah, so Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi